It's a DVE morning show. Jim Crenn, Randy Bauman joining us right now. He's going to be at the Improv all weekend long. 2 shows tonight, 2 shows tomorrow, 1 on Sunday. You know him from Jackass, MTV's Wild Boys. It's Steve-O. What's up, man? How are you?
Steve-O? I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me, guys.
Well, you know, it's great to have you in here. And, you know, with all the Charlie Sheen stuff going on, I wanted to ask you about, now you had your run with, you know, the substances and stuff. You've come out and you're in good shape right now. You look good, man.
Well, thanks, man.
You look healthy.
Yeah, it's funny because I was hearing you, like I was listening before the break, and he said, "Oh yeah, and Steve-O, he's done with it."
Yeah, like I'm so sure. I've not met you before.
It would be great, man, if people in my position were just done with it, and that was all there is to it. But it's not like that, man. You know, like once you're like that, you're always like that. So
you mean every day could, and you just
you
time
never,
is the old line, right?
Unless you're Charlie Sheen, you know, you don't get cured.
Right, but I mean. But you're actively trying to avoid it.
Sure.
That's what I meant by done with it.
I maintain my sobriety on a daily basis, and if I can make it till March 10th, then that's 3 years.
So being recovered, you see a guy like Sheen. You know, you just gotta shake your head, huh? Because you know this guy is just on his way. This is disaster. Like he's talking like it's the most positive thing in the world, but you're looking at it going, this is disaster for him.
I mean, I don't know. Like, it seems like I'm following it all pretty closely, and it seems like just with the child custody thing, like he's gonna probably wind up in court on Monday, and he could be held in contempt and locked up. I just can't imagine that any judge wouldn't have you know, sort of become aware of the situation, and he's going to wind up in front of a judge, and a judge is going to be like, dude, you're in contempt, you got to go to jail, you know, like, and then probably that'd be the best thing for him. And I just can't help but just crack up picturing him like behind bars saying, I'm winning. Just winning in jail.
Kids are getting yanked away from him. He's in jail.
He will not give up that mantra. Winning.
Yeah, just totally winning.
But do you recognize that kind of like sort of divorce from reality perception?
Oh yeah, man, I can relate so totally personally to every bit of how crazy that he is, man. Like, and I agree with you that it's likely that he's really not taking drugs right now, because you know, from the point when I stopped drinking alcohol and taking drugs, I just got crazier for a while there, you know, like I don't know if it's like the half-life of all these chemicals, but I really I mean, and I'm talking about for me like months, you know, it was like months. I just like just crazy stuff, man.
They say your brain's rewiring and everything to get healthy and everything. And with you, you know, you're a star. People know you, man. It must have been. It's hard because people just come up and want to give you stuff, or you can basically. It's harder in a weird way.
Everybody wants to party with Steve-O.
There's a little bit of that, but you know, for me, I really just removed myself from the picture, and I was bouncing around different rehabs and stuff. I stayed in rehab for 6 full months. And then after 6 months of rehab, I went into a halfway house environment, and I stayed there until I had 2 years of sobriety. So, like, I was doing the whole peeing into plastic cups twice a week, sharing a bedroom with another dude, scrubbing toilets, home by curfew, up by 9, bed made, you know.
So you really do gotta want it, and it's not like a thing where like Charlie's in his house for 2 weeks. And
they say that sobriety's not for people who need it, because all kinds of people need it. And it's not even really for people who want it, because sure, you know, like it'd be nice for a lot. It's really for people who work for it, you know. And so I don't know. It's definitely interesting, and I gotta say I am one of Charlie Sheen's Twitter followers.
1 in a million, we are. It's
right. Everybody is. It's kind of embarrassing, really. Like when, you know, especially since this just happened in the last few days. Like anybody, if you look at their Twitter thing, and Charlie Sheen's the last person that they decided to follow.
Yep.
And it's just hilarious, man.
Yeah. Well, he threw the picture on of him in one of the quote unquote goddesses. Well, I mean, he's got kind of a loose definition of goddess, but you know, whatever works for him. I mean, I'm sure he's glad just not to be alone at this point. Dude has 5 kids, a huge extended family, and he sits in that house basically with 2 porn stars doing drugs.
Yeah. Well, we don't know what they're doing, but it's a little bit. Just when you say the kids, you know, I saw something with him yesterday, and he was talking about, yeah, well, that's not very responsible parenting on Brooke's part.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, man.
Yeah, and he was having the porn stars bathe his
Right.
kids. That was fun.
I love the one porn star line, which in the porn industry would be a great thing, but I don't know about being a mom. When she looked at the camera in 2020, goes, "I'd take a bullet for this kid." You know?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the kind of language you use on the porn set. You know,
Sure.
you might not want to bring it into the daycare. Steve-O from Jackass. Now let me ask you about this. Every time I see it on TV, like if it's on cable, I put the changer down because it's like you can't stop watching this. So whoever came up with this idea in the first place, when Jeff Tremaine and those guys brought this, to the country's attention, how many years ago was it now? Is it like 10?
Yeah, Jackass first came out on MTV in October of 2000.
So, I mean, it is a bona fide hit. They want you guys to keep doing it. At some point, you're like, dude, seriously, I can't staple my sack to my leg anymore.
Yeah, you know, I don't think that we'll necessarily. I don't think that you can ever run out of dumb ideas, man. And the formula is so simple. You think it's something you'd never want to do, and then you do it. And you know, that's how it works, man. Like, and as far as I know, that Knoxville and I are healthier and in better shape than we've ever been in before. So, and then the rest of the guys, they're so young.
What stunt would you say? What thing did you do in the movies or in the show? Which one injured you the most? Which one just really hurt you?
Yeah, we were filming the second movie, and I got shoved down some stairs in a bellhop cart, and I just landed right on the bellhop cart on my back. But you know, with me, the worst injuries have always been things that didn't come out looking great on camera. Like they wouldn't make the movie, or like it'd be in the credits somewhere. I've been really unlucky in that regard, but
because if you're gonna be hurt bad, you want it at least to be in the flick.
Yeah. I went to the hospital twice filming for Jackass 3D, and one of the I had burns up the whole left side of my body, and that was for something that didn't make the movie. Then I had a BB shot into my nipple with this high powered BB gun. We did BB gun nipple piercing, and fired a BB through my nipple, and it's still in there. And then I'm sitting there with blood gushing out of my nipple, saying like, "Oh man, the BB stayed in there. I'm so happy." And Bam sneaks up behind me with his boxing glove and just fully breaks my nose. So I showed up at the hospital with a BB in my nipple and a broken nose. And then neither of those things made the movie. It didn't even make 3.5 because they were worried about kids like holding guns up to their hearts, and you know, So yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It seems to me now one of the fun things about Jackass is like how much fun you guys are actually having and how hard you're laughing at each other. But it does seem that there is like any group of guys, the dudes who you always sort of bag on, and like they always get the brunt of everybody's sort of asking.
You mean like Danger Aaron?
Right. Yeah, Aaron and Preston seem to always have to.
Preston steps up. Like that's the difference. Preston like really like volunteers for it, you know, and then the ideas that nobody wants any part of always trickle down to Danger Aaron. Like he's the last house on the block.
Do you guys compete at all in a way for stunts? Like,
sure.
You do, right?
Yeah.
Picking them. How do you do that?
For picking them. It depends, man. Like, generally people want footage. So for the most part, there's a lot of eagerness to film stuff. And then certain things, like we're going to tie a dental floss around your tooth and attach it to a Lamborghini. Like, nobody's really rushing to the plate for that.
Oh, wow. So is it like some other people, or you guys come up with the idea? Like, for instance, you walk in and say, hey, I'm going to hold a plunger and get hit by a car and whatever.
Yeah.
Is it you do that? Or
generally, it's us that comes up with all the ideas. Like somebody who thinks of the idea has dibs on it. And if they don't want to do it themselves, then they'll delegate to someone else. But like, if you see somebody do something, either they thought of the idea or got permission from the person who thought of it. Cool. So that's the one thing that gets respect is intellectual property. We really. very respectful of that.
It always sort of amazes me that like Knoxville became kind of like the breakout star from all of this, and had done some movie roles and attained a level of celebrity like just a notch above, like as the leader of the Jackass group, and he never stopped doing the crazy stuff.
Right. All right.
Like when he didn't have to anymore, he was still doing things that could get you killed.
For sure, man. He's nuts.
And that, I mean, at any point, are you guys looking at each other going, we got to bring some young jackasses in here and let them do everything? We need to mentor some kids to start taking it.
No, that hasn't been the case, man. I don't know that people would be really interested in that, These guys, the Dudesons, are younger, and they're gnarly, man, and nobody cares.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
There's a certain, what's true is a certain intangible, it's a connection. Who knows why it works? Because you guys had to be. Are you a little bit shocked that these movies make $100 million? It's making monster money, and still is 10 years later.
It's actually making way more now. Like each one's been so much more popular than the predecessor. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So of course there's pressure to make another one. I haven't gotten a call about it yet, but I'm not going to be too terribly surprised if I do.
My favorite thing about watching the succession of Jackass flicks is that the first one looks like it was just shot with some video cameras and stuff.
Right.
And the second one's like Scorsese shot it, It's like got all these great production elements to it. I mean, the budget just went up 100-fold.
Yeah, and it's still peanuts.
Really? Sure. Comparatively.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we made the first movie with like $6 million, and the last one was $20 million. So it's not.
Well, it hasn't really gone up all that
what
much.
a profit margin if you think about it.
Right.
What stunt in all the stunts that you didn't do that you saw someone else going, I wish I would have did that one. I wish I would have had that. Anyone stick out that you go, I wish I would have had that.
It's tough to say, man, because there's so much stuff where, like, if I would have done it, then it would. I don't know. Like, Knoxville gets in the bull ring. It's the hardest thing to watch, and and as soon as it's over and he's okay, it's like that's the best part of the movie. But getting to that point is the problem,
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Steve-O's with us. He's at the Improv all weekend. Can you hang out just a bit?
Sure, man, of course.
All right, we're going to do a quick break, and we're going to come back more with Steve-O. 2 shows tonight, 2 tomorrow, 1 on Sunday, 412-462-5233, or go to